I saw this clip, right, courtesy of this guy called Linus Ekenstam, right? And I think he's one of these tech guys, these Silicon Valley dudes who I just follow on social because I think they're pretty. What does he say? Okay, what his bio says: AI evangelist and optimist, latest AI news trends, learn how to use AI tools to augment your ability. So he's one of these type of dudes that's always fucking sucking off Elon, always sucking off AI, lover of all technology, bring it all on, love it, love it, love it, never skeptical of anything, everything's good, nothing's bad. So and obviously he's got latest news, so I'm always following him. But I saw this clip, right, and it made me think to myself, some of these people, some of these tech evangelists, or these guys that don't see nothing wrong in the rapid development of technology, especially stuff like AI, and aren't concerned in the slightest as to how regular people are going to adjust to it, and how it's going to completely disrupt certain industries, and it already has done it, really do worry me, because they don't see anything wrong with it. They don't see any warning signs, they don't see anything bad. Everything is for the best, everything's for the better. And I think a lot of us, especially those of us who read, myself included, I've definitely seen the more I've been on social media, the more I found it hard to pick up books and stuff and read, actually. And even though I'm still reading now, I definitely do find it harder to read than I did maybe 10 years ago, because my habits on social media have changed, you know? Not because I'm older and shit, just because I think my tendency to kind of always during my downtime grab my phone has made me not been so quick to getting back to that sort of stuff. So, and you can all think about kids when it comes to bullying and all this sort of stuff, and whether they get fed online, blah 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 blah. But I heard this clip and that was like, god damn it, man. Like, I'm a techno or enthusiast as well, and I think, you know, startups have done a lot of good in the world, but I'm also skeptical and hesitant with some things and some people. I don't think everyone has the greatest intentions. Like, for instance, I don't think Elon is literally here. He's like this selfless hero wanting to save humanity because he wants to terraform Mars. I think there's a lot in it for him as well. So when I hear these people speak the way they do, it kind of scares me. I'm not going to lie. It kind of freaking scares me. So this is Linus Ekenstam saying you're going to lose your job and that's fine, right? Which is fucking crazy line. I wonder if that kind of harkens back to the quote that Tim Dillon always says. I forgot which one it was, actually. That particular one that can't escape in my head right now. But let's play this clip so you can hear what this guy has to say about the ever looming takeover of AI.
I'm just going to rant for a bit because people are a bit too soft. They are not really understanding what's going on. Everyone are getting stuck on the details and people are just completely missing the big picture. That's fine. Let me just try to explain that in simple terms. People will lose their jobs, period. Loads and loads and loads of people will lose their jobs. White collar jobs are probably the ones that are hanging the loosest at this very moment. If you're a lawyer, if you're a financial worker, if you're a consultant, if you're a creative artist, whatever you do that's a white collar job that took you a long time to be good at, you are in the process of potentially losing your job. And that sucks. The good part is, if you're one of those people that are willing to adapt, willing to upskill, willing to reskill, willing to test the waters, willing to try to understand that this is not just a hype, but this is actually a paramount change that's coming, maybe one in 500 years, maybe a 1 in 1,000 year change that we're living through, then you're one of the luckier ones. Because
so if I don't want to upscale, like, what are you meant to upscale if like robots and AI take over your job when you're stacking shelves somewhere, or you're working at some Amazon fulfillment center? How are you meant to upscale? How are you meant to learn? How are you meant to how are you meant to get out of that position? Please, somebody tell me. For that person who's just trying to make enough to put food on the table, keep a roof over their heads, keep them warm during the winters, maybe allow themselves one vacation per year, if not, maybe one staycation per year, if not, maybe a nice outfit, maybe a drink, maybe a meal for their birthday. That's all they want, really, for the most part. And you're telling them to what? Learn to code. Learn to fucking code. Learn to what? Implement or use AI in their day-to-day work. It's like, bro, I stack shelves. I stack shelves. I work at a fucking till in fucking Morrison's or in Asda's or in Tesco's, and now my job's been taken away from me because of these self-checking fucking checkouts and shit, but most of which have fucking scales on them, so you don't even need anyone there. Some of which I've seen have the approval thing, which is scary. I've seen one trial where they have these self-checkout things where you can approve. You know, sometimes when you go on self-checkout, if you try and buy alcohol, that's when someone has to come over and manually approve it for you by either checking your ID or just approving you on the screen. I've now seen self-checkout points that allow you to scan your fucking ID, like how you do at a boarding gate, like, you know, at immigration, to scan your passport, to scan your fucking driving license. So you don't even need anybody. So you can go actually at the self-checkout thing with your fucking bottles of Tito's, with your bottles of Por Osos, with your bottles of fucking Tiger Thick whiskey, and just pass it by scanning your fucking card on there. So no human has to actually interact with you. How is that person that lost their job there, the bagger, the till worker, meant to implement, meant to fucking learn and develop their skills? How, Sway?
You have not just proven that you're willing to kind of try to be wrong, to try to see that maybe there is something here more to it than what I thought in the first place. You're also actually putting yourself up for more success, because even if it's not this wave, if you look at technological advancements in the last 50 years, there will be a wave, whether or not it's this one or if it's another one, that will be substantially impacting the way that we work and live. And look, most of you guys have jobs that didn't even exist 15 or 20 years ago. So you're all...
So suck it up. Most of you are lucky to have a job anyway. Most of you, your jobs didn't even exist 15 years ago. You're lucky to have it now. So if it goes again, what's the matter? You didn't have it before. But what? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Already kind of living through this experience where, like, oh yeah, I'm a VFX artist, I'm rotoscoping and whatnot. Yeah, come on. Who did that 15 years ago or 20 years ago? Like maybe a handful of people. And earlier than that, it wasn't even a job. So everyone needs to stop to be so precious about their occupations and start paying attention to the larger shifts.
So precious. People need to stop being so precious about their occupations. Some people, their occupations is all they have. Their occupations are the only thing stopping them from not sleeping out in the streets. That's why some of us, myself included, have a lot of sympathy at times and sometimes a lot of frustration when you see homeless people on the street. Because the sympathy and empathy comes from the fact that you know you're only a couple, maybe one bad financial decision away from fucking sleeping rough on the street too. But some of the frustration comes from the point of you're having to also get your ass up to work every single day to fucking put food on the table. So you see somebody begging, it can kind of fill you with some level of anger and frustration that they are doing that while you are choosing to fucking slave yourself in your workplace. So when somebody tells you something like this, right, you're like, hold on, the only thing I have to my name, the only thing I'm kind of proud of, especially people who have kind of grafted their way up working in the fucking corporate world, who didn't have any fucking education, who maybe didn't graduate high school and shit, and just busted their ass through just getting one job after the other, one job after the other, after the next, after whatever, and then suddenly becoming a fucking, you know, suddenly working in a C-suite of a company, because that can happen if you obviously work hard enough. For someone to say that to you when your whole job is your whole identity, which is not a bad thing, right? You could have worse things be identity. You could be like fucking Bert Kreischer, stand-up comedian, and drinking booze and taking a shot of is your whole identity. You wouldn't want that. So people that make their whole life their identity, I don't mind it. More power to you. Enjoy yourself. Stack your money. Enjoy your work colleagues. Hang out and do your things. But these type of guys are telling you your job doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And it sort of made me think, like, these guys are kind of like, in a weird way, it's almost like they believe there is no negative thing that could ever occur as this rapid development of AI continues to grow. Because recently I saw this thing with Google. Is it Google? Where they're doing there's a new video AI tool that allows you to basically create these really realistic, essentially, videos, all made with AI, and people have been testing it by doing those kind of street interview things, and that's been freaking amazing. I saw this one clip that I'm actually going to play in random show later that's absolutely brilliant, that kind of takes the piss out of influencers and shit on during a global pandemic or during like a nuclear war and shit. So there's a lot of these new AI developments that are legitimately taking away the use or the need for you to hire a fucking graphic designer or copywriter or this or that, whatever it may be. If that is the case, then you need to do something for those people that lost their jobs, bro. You need to do something for them. And sometimes it's not going to be, sometimes doing something for them, like helping them with money and shit, isn't actually going to replace the fulfillment, the sense of purpose that they get from having a job. Like, I've noticed it myself. Like, I think as much as I've been doing really well with my content recently in the podcast and the streams, especially on the Random Show channel, that's been growing crazy. That's because I've been doing it consistently, obviously trying to hit this 31-day marathon thing. I have to be honest, like, I still think the reason why these channels exist in the first place is because for the most of the time that I've had these channels, I've worked a full-time job. That's why these channels existed. I hated my reality. I hated my 9 to 5 Monday to Friday reality so much that I decided to start doing YouTube, or I decided to start recording a podcast. That's what came of it. That's why I decided to maybe start DJing, decided to start doing art, decided to maybe start drawing, whatever it may be. It came because I hated the mundanity of my regular job. So it kind of forced me to make more out to kind of make the most out of my day. So I'd work from 9 to 5, 9 to 6. I'd come back, I'd shower, I'd change, and then I'd be bang out with the fucking content. So I probably did more when I had a 9 to 5 than now, you know? Honestly, I did way more in terms of output because I had such a limited time. I couldn't waste a day. I couldn't waste a single day because I was then back to the drudgery of having to do my regular job. So a lot of people have that. Some people don't respond to it by making content. Some people respond to it by maybe going away on holiday, by maybe doing things with their family, starting a family. Take away that work from their life. Take away that work block from their fucking day to day, and they're going to be left with nothing really. So people are thinking that jobs are just like a job. A job is a lot of things for a lot of people. It gives people purpose, direction, structure, discipline, a schedule to it, you know, a reason to get up in the morning. Like, God almighty, these fucking people.
It's just so annoying to see all these people in the comments that are just like actually not understanding anything about what's going on. They're just angry. They're kind of maybe sad because they have done something for a few years and they become good at it, and then a machine comes in and does it better than them. Better, faster, cheaper. And
I wonder, in part, this guy's like callousness. This guy's like a level. This guy's like no emotional EQ. I wonder, right? I wonder if this is the reason why Elon struggled with Doge. Although Doge didn't live up to his promises, and you know he's now taken a break from politics, thank God, and he's now dedicating himself solely to Tesla and SpaceX. I wonder if a lot of the reason why he wasn't successful in the government was because most tech guys, most Silicon Valley guys, most startup guys, they don't really have any empathy or compassion with people, you know? They just see them for a means to an end. But if you're working in a government, you kind of have to understand people. You kind of have to understand what jobs represent. You kind of have to understand what certain entitlements, what certain benefits do for people, what certain benefits and entitlements and schemes do for the wider sense of purpose, togetherness, happiness, fulfillment it does for people. But when you start looking at things and just numbers on a spreadsheet, you start looking at things as on a VLOOKUP or something, right? On a spreadsheet and shit, as a cell, you then lose people because you're not really talking to them as people. You're just seeing them as a number, and people don't like to be seen as numbers or as stats or something, right? They want to be seen as people, living organisms with fucking hearts, minds and souls and shit, and dreams and aspirations. They don't want to be looked at as like, oh, these replaceable cogs in the machine, because they're not. Even though they are, they're not.
And I would also freak out. I mean, I've been a designer for 20 years. I know I'm done for. I know my job is not going to be around. I've already come to terms with that. Like, there's no going back from that. And yes, it's not great now. It's not the best. It's not replacing me today. But it will replace me within time. And that time scale is probably not very long. If I'm lucky, 2 years. If I'm unlucky, less. The thing here is to like bring your expertise to the new thing, and we're going to continue to push the frontier. We're going to continue to push what it is that we do. So like, yes, your current job, yeah, you'll lose it, and there will be rough times, and there will be good times that comes after it. We will do other things. We will level up. Just stop being so negative in the comments. Just stop being so
negative. Stop being so sad and dreary because the job you worked extremely hard to get, you grafted for, that has given you a reason to wake up in the morning, that has given you a sense of purpose, that's allowed you to maybe meet the love of your life. How many people in offices have met fucking husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, lovers, children of their fathers and mothers to their fucking childs through that? How many people have met fucking best friends that they go to weddings and stuff of, they go to fucking holidays together with all the time? Come on, bro. Jobs give people a lot more than just the fucking job itself. It's all the other things included, especially if you're an adult and you don't really go out too much anyway. You don't really have a big social group of friends. Those things give you a lot to fucking look forward to. And this guy's telling you, it's no big deal. Just adjust, just adjust. Adjust to what, bro? I don't want to adjust. I want to work a regular job. I want to make a decent enough salary, and I want to be able to do the things that I enjoy. Whether that's doing karaoke, whether that's fucking, you know, playing around with fucking, I don't know, puzzles and shit, collecting fucking cards, whatever you fucking do, you want to do that. That's all you want. You don't want anything else. And these guys are telling you not to train, to do this or what, to learn to code, I'm guessing. Start what? Becoming an engineer? What? Becoming a prompt engineer or something? Is that what you want me to do? You want me to become a prompt engineer? And then when that gets replaced, then what? And the actual real answer to this, by the way, the real answer is this. The real answer is what should actually happen, and you're probably the only way to really save us regular folks, is to just have universal basic income across the board. We have it similar. We have a similar thing here in the UK. We have universal credit that people get if you're out of work. You can kind of claim universal credit, which is essentially what's it called? Welfare, right? In a way. But I think in the UK it's a bit more higher than maybe what you get in the US. They cover your rent. They can cover this. Mostly they cover rent, not anything else usually. But you can get a certain amount. But I think that's the only way to kind of do it. And maybe you do that based on the median wage of whatever you are in the world. So let's say universal basic income was like set at a certain level. Let's say your universal income was like 1,500. And let's say whatever your 1,500 is in your country, in your city. So let's say 1,500 in this country, which is basically what I'd usually get for my kind of like job, full-time job that I would usually get would be £1,500 per month. That's what I get paid. And then from that, you pay for your rent, and then whatever's left over, you kind of do what you want to do. That's what should happen. The government should pay everybody, especially if this AI thing goes where it's going to go, and we, you know, and we get to a point where AI just takes over most people's jobs. Everybody should get universal basic income where they cover your base needs. 1,500 won't be enough for you to live lavishly, because I don't think what I used to get was 1,500. That's gross. That's like a 27. Is that a 27k per year salary? I think. I don't know what 1,500 is, but it's not a lot of money, but especially after taxes. So that should be your base level. And then if you want to make more, what you can implore people to do is to kind of chase their vocation, chase something that they're fucking passionate about, like a hobby that they can do part-time, whether that's helping out a florist, whether that's fucking helping out a youth center, whether that's whatever, helping in a record store, whether it's working in a supermarket, doing something part-time to supplement that income or to add on top of what you're making. But everybody should get a base of like 1,500. That way, you give people, at least if you're going to take away their jobs and their sense of purpose Monday to Friday, at least you're paying them for it. It's still going to disrupt their day, because I think a lot of people, although I hated it working Monday to Friday, I think a lot of people get a lot of things from it. And I remember when I used to love it, I used to get a lot of things from it too. Especially when I was working retail. Like, weirdly enough, right, talking about jobs, I think I enjoyed way more. This is really strange to say. Maybe because it's just, maybe it's poverty mindset. But I think I enjoyed more working full-time in a service industry than I did when I went in the office. Which is strange, because when you work in the service industry, which I mean like, you know, working in stores, working in bars, working in restaurants and stuff, the dream, I don't know about for you guys, but I remember when we were on the shop floor, the dream was to always work in the head office, whatever company you're at. So if I was at Dr. Martens, I can't wait to go to Dr. Martens. I can't wait to maybe get a job in Dr. Martens HQ. If you work at a Nike store, an outlet, you're like, oh my God, I want to work in a Nike head office. I want to be a part of the energy marketing team. If you worked in an Adidas original store, oh my God, I want to work in the fucking Adidas HQ. Whatever store you worked in, you always went to work in the head office. But then when you go in the head office, when you suddenly make that transition that I did, when I finally left the shop floor and I started working in offices and stuff and doing marketing and social media and communications and customer service, all that sort of stuff I was doing, you don't enjoy it as much. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it way more when I was in the shop floor. I loved working. I loved going to work every day. Like, I loved walking down, like when I was working at Carnaby Street, Dr. Martens, and I was a fucking key holder. I loved walking down there in the morning at like 8, grabbing my fucking coffee in my fucking Doc Martens, opening up the store, saying safe to everybody that walks down there. And I guess if you know, depending on when your shift starts, you see the same people from different stores that you become friends with from other brands and shit. Getting your lunch quickly for half an hour outside the store, pretending to smoke a cigarette outside the store, even though you got fucking asthma and shit. That stuff was so fucking fun. But then when you go in the office, the politics, all of the nonsense and stuff, that like it's just annoying, man. It's the worst. And as well, when you go in the office, I feel like you meet the worst type of employees. You meet a lot of like entitled people as well who haven't suffered. I think on the shop floor, you're all the same. You've all suffered. You've all had to work Boxing Day. You've all had to work, you know, Christmases. You've all had to work in the summers, sales. You've all had to do stock takes and shit. You know, you've done it. You've all had to go work in a store where maybe money's gone missing in a till and everyone's on notice. Everyone's fucking walking on eggshells. But then when you work in an office, you might work in an office and you might work with somebody that's like 22 and that's their first ever job in an office. And they have a sense of entitlement and ego, and they're just like ungrateful cunts. They're horrible they have horrible work ethic, and you're just there having to struggle and work, and it's the worst. So weirdly enough, I think I honestly did have way more fun in the shop floor, working in a bar briefly, working in nightclubs and cloakrooms and shit, than I ever did working in head office. I swear to God, it's so much fun. So that kind of person, taking away their Monday to Friday, taking away their Sunday to Sunday, it's going to be a big fucking difference, big fucking change to their life. Even if you give them UBI, it won't be enough for some people. Like some people will be forever broken. Like a lot of people broke during, and not broke, I mean broken, you know, probably double entendre there. But a lot of people's brains broke when COVID happened, you know. A lot of people did never adjust. Big up my guy Bobby, he's one of them. A lot of people never really adjusted to the whole working from home thing. They never adjusted to it. Never liked it, never adjusted to it. Much prefer working in the office Monday to Friday. They want to be around other people. They don't want to be at home on Zoom. They don't want to be at home on Skype. They don't want to be at home RP. They don't want to be at home on fucking Teams. Do you know what I mean? On Slack. They want to be around people. And even Slack only bangs when you're in the office. That doesn't really bang as well when you're at home. That shit only bangs when you're in office and you're talking about somebody right next to you that they can't see with a person in front of you. You know, that's where Slack fucking bangs. When you're hoping that the little fucking gossip you're fucking running on your manager and how much she stinks and shit, like figuratively or literally, is not going to get out there. That shit bangs the same. But these motherfuckers, I don't know if it's never having an honest job. I don't know if it's about them just thinking technology is going to actually solve our answers and I have it wrong. Maybe my apprehension, maybe my concern is misplaced. Maybe it'll all work out, but I don't think it's going to work out. Judging by how we dealt with COVID and remote working, I don't think it's going to work out the way people think it's going to work out. I think there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to recover from it and are going to lose a bit of themselves because AI took them jobs and now they don't have any sense of purpose. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I am wrong.